Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Maya adhyakshena prakritihi suyate sacharacharam. On my superintendence, Prakriti or material nature gives birth or gives rise to varieties of manifestation. So same thing in a more descriptive way we are seeing in these verses. We have heard in many of the lectures Srila Prabhupada telling there are many so-called scientists, atheists who defy the existence of God. They question, where is God? There is no God. I am God. In such ways. So Prabhupada answers this quoting verse from Bhagavad Gita. Yes, God is there. He'll come in front of you. You will be able to see Him. Everyone will be able to see Him in the form of death. Mrityu harascha aham, sarvaharaha cha aham. And the form of time or kala or mrityu, yes, God will appear in front of everyone. And this will create kalameke yato bhayam. Shri Krishna Balarama ki jai. Just in the previous verses we were hearing kalameke yato bhayam. So this kala, the time factor, creates fear among men. Why? Why? Because everyone are afraid of death. So the reason also we understood, because bhayam dvitiya abhiniveshatah syat. Since the living entities are identifying with the dvitiya, that is the body, they are not identifying with the spirit soul, that is why they are fearful. If they stop identifying with this dvitiya or this material body, then fear won't be there. So all these things we were hearing in the previous verses. So here in today's verse we see Prakriter gunasamyasya. Gunasamya means there is no differentiation. Everything is like without the interaction of modes of material nature. That is gunasamya. Nirvisheshasya manavi. Nirvishesha. Vishesha means varieties, visheshana or differentiation. Nirvishesha or nirvana means no varieties. Gunasamya, nirvishesha. So this is specifically referring to the unmanifested state, which is also known as pradhana. Prakriter gunasamyasya nirvisheshasya manavi. So he is addressing his mother. O daughter of Swayambhuva Manu. His mother Devahuti is the daughter of Swayambhuva Manu. So he is addressing his mother as Manavi. So this pradhana, which is in its unmanifested state, without any differentiation, without the action of the three modes of material nature, what will happen? Cheshta yatassa Bhagavan. Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, He will do or He will perform a cheshta, activity or some endeavor or the press of the button. So that will be done by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Cheshta yatassa Bhagavan kala iti upalakshitaha, in the form of kala. My dear mother, O daughter of Swayambhuva Manu, the time factor, as I have explained, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead from whom the creation begins. So, the Supreme Personality of Godhead begins the creation through this feature of himself known as Kala, from whom the creation begins as a result of the agitation of the neutral, unmanifested nature. I'll read out one portion from a lecture given by Srila Prabhupada on this very same verse in Bombay in 1974. Srila Prabhupada says, now Bhagavan Kapila Deva is describing what is the Kala or the time factor. Time factor is another manifestation or feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kala. So we have understood these things sufficient times. We'll continue. The beginning of creation, that is the beginning of Kala. So that beginning is started by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sa Aikshata, these are the Vedic information. The Lord glanced over the Mahatattva. Sa Asrijata, and in this way creation began. So how it began according to the Vedic information? Sa Aikshata, the Lord cast his glance upon material nature. Sa Asrijata, in this way all the varieties of manifestations emerges, or it got created. In this is the way the Lord created this material nature. The material scientists think that there was a chunk and there became manifested. These are foolish theories. Real thing is that in contact, sa aikshata, that is the Vedic information. When the Supreme Personality of Godhead glanced over the Prakriti, Mahat Tattva, then the three gunas agitated and she begins to give birth in so many varieties of the 24 elements. So all these things sufficiently we have heard. Even in our previous sessions, in the previous verses we saw, it is to the glance of the Supreme Lord, the agitation took place, giving rise to the three modes of material nature, and all the varieties of forms were created. And then, so Kala, time factor, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is above these 24 ingredients of material elements. It is in between the spiritual element and the material element, via media, that Kala. This is the description of Kala. So this is how Srila Prabhupada explains. What is this Kala? So it is above the 24 elements. In the previous verses we heard the five Panchabhutas, Jnanendriyas, Karmendriya and Sukshma, whatever, 4 things, total 24, these were the elements, and the 25th element is Kala. And what is this Kala? It is none other than a manifestation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself. But it is neither, doesn't come under the category of material elements, neither it is a spiritual element. It is via media. It is what Srila Prabhupada says here. This is the description of Kala. Now, let us speak about, try to understand about the purpose of all of these things. So the Lord is manifesting different elements, and then Kala, and then through the action of material modes, agitation has started, giving rise to varieties of living entities, varieties of creations, what we see in this material nature. What is the purpose? What is the aim? In Bhagavad Gita, in the 16th chapter, there is description of wherein Krishna says how the demoniac people think. So there it is mentioned, the demoniac people, they think there is no purpose for the creation. There is no purpose at all. Somehow it came up, or they say it is only the sex desire that is the purpose of this, or whatever the result of that. In this way, different theories they give, but these are all incorrect. So let us see in another place, Srila Prabhupada mentions about the aim or the purpose of creation. In summary, we have heard these things sufficiently, how the entire material cosmic manifestation is done for the purpose of giving conditioned living entities an opportunity to enjoy independent of the Supreme Lord. Some living entities who want to enjoy independent of the Supreme Lord are given an opportunity to do so, and this is done by facilitating or creating this entire material manifestation by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the purpose. Let us see in another lecture, Srila Prabhupada says in this way, Vaishnava philosophers, we do not admit this, that without any aim, there is aim. Why? Krishna says that this material world, bhutva bhutva praliyate, bhutva bhutva, there is aim. The manifestation of Prakriti, cosmic manifestation, is there to give the living entities another chance for liberation. See, as Vaishnavas, as devotees, this purpose, this aim, we should have it behind our mind when we are reading or hearing about all the descriptions of the creation, how it is happening step by step, because in great detail all these things have been mentioned in the Bhagavatam. But we should not get lost in the details. The way the other set of so-called spiritualists or propounders of Sankhya philosophy, who say that all these material elements, they gave rise somehow to the living entity. But no, it is wrong. The purpose of this creation is to give living entities another chance for liberation. One chance is given, just like we have got. Prakriti is now manifested, and we are living entities. We are here. Sarva yonishu kaunteya sambhavanti murtayo yaha. In many varieties. So what is the aim? The aim is God realization. By evolutionary process, gradually we come to the human form of life. Asitim chaturashchaiva jiva jatishu. So jiva jati. So in this way, Prabhupada continues to say how all these varieties, asitim chaturashchaiva, the 84 lakh varieties of bodies what is created, and in those varieties again every living entity based on his prakriti, his desire, his karma, varieties of bodies, varieties of situations are created in this material nature. So what is the purpose? To facilitate that living entity's journey back home, back to Godhead, so that he will become self-realized. Whatever his unconstitutional desire to enjoy independent of the Supreme Lord, this is not possible. In whatever way he tries out, the living entity cannot be happy being aloof or being away from the service of the Supreme Lord. But still the desire is there to facilitate this desire and gradually to help him to realize and then become liberated from this material world and go home back to Godhead. This is the purpose, or this is the aim. So this should not be forgotten by devotees. Now, I'll read one verse from the instruction given by Narada Muni to Maharaja Yudhishthira. So this instruction, Narada Muni gives varieties of instructions about the 4 varnas, 4 ashramas, the perfect society, and all of those things. So there, this one instruction we can find given by Narada Muni to Maharaja Yudhishthira. The verse goes like this: Nabhinande dhruvam mrityum adhruvam vasya jeevitam kalam param pratiksheta bhutanam prabhavapyayam. So here, na abhinandet dhruvam mrityum. Dhruvam mrityum. Mrityu or death is certain. Dhruva means it is fixed, or it is sure to happen. So death will surely come. So what should we do? Na abhinandet. Do not become too much attached to it, or praise it, or spend too much time on it. Similarly, adhruvam va asya jeevitam. Our jeevitam, or our existence in this material body, is adhruva. At any moment, death may come and put a full stop for our life. At any given point of time it can happen. So it is adhruva. Adhruvam va asya jeevitam. So what is supposed to be done? Too much don't focus on death, neither too much do not focus on your living or lifetime. So what are we supposed to focus on? Kalam param pratiksheta. Focus on or observe kala. What does kala do? Bhutanam prabhava apyayam. What will this kala do? How through the influence of kala, a certain day I was born, growth happened, maintenance is there, dwindling will happen, and then at one point of time I will give up this body. Observe this movement, what is happening in relationship with kala or time. So the translation goes like this: since the material body is sure to be vanquished and the duration of one's life is not fixed, neither death nor life is to be praised. Neither death nor life should be praised. Rather, one should observe the eternal time factor in which the living entity manifests himself and disappears. So we should just observe this time factor. Birth will happen, death will happen, prosperity will come, prosperity will go away, victory, defeat, name, fame, infamy, all of these churnings are happening under the influence of kala. Do not neither praise glory, neither praise inglory, or neither praise lifetime or death. Just focus on kala, the time factor. It is taking you through all of these ups and downs. This is where our focus should be towards. In the purport, very beautifully Prabhupada writes, the living entities in the material world, not only at the present but also in the past, have been involved in trying to solve the problem of birth and death. So we have seen this, many scientists, they want to solve the problem of janma, mrityu, jara, vyadhi, disease, old age, death. In varieties of ways, from time immemorial, people have been trying for this, but they are unsuccessful. Some stress death and point out to the illusory existence of everything material. There are some people who stress upon death, and what do they say? They speak about the illusory existence of this material nature, specifically referring to the propounders of nirvana, nirakara or mayavadis. They focus on, oh, everything here is illusion, there is nothing existing. They focus on death. Everything, ultimately everything will go away. Everyone has to die. Everything will be finished. So there is nothing, there is zero. Shunyavada, Nirvisheshavada. So this one set of category of philosophers are there. And then the other set of people, whereas others stress life, trying to preserve it perpetually and enjoy it to the best of their ability. So we see another category, especially in the modern day, we see people stressing on life. Oh, now life is there, we have to enjoy, these problems are there, so something we have to make some adjustments and try to enjoy the life to the fullest extent. Try to elongate the life or make sure life is eternal, there should not be death, and they are trying for it also. And if at all, okay, one fine day we will die, so we should see to it that this limited amount of time what is available with us, we should enjoy nicely, we should use the time very fruitfully. These are some propositions what we hear. Or if not, we should work in such a way that even after your death, people should remember you. See, all of these things we hear. So what are they focusing on? The life. But Prabhupada says that some people, they are stressing on life, trying to preserve it perpetually and enjoy it to the best of their ability. Both of them are fools and rascals. Those who are focusing on death, the illusory nature of this material world, everything is finished and nothing is there. And another set of people, oh, life is there, life is all in all, we should enjoy nicely. Both of them are fools and rascals. It is advised that one observe the eternal time factor, which is the cause of the material body's appearance and disappearance, and that one observe the living entity's entanglement in this time factor. See, this time factor is a manifestation in this material nature. It has taken birth, or it has arisen from the glance of the Supreme Lord in the material nature. It is not a part of the spiritual world. So in the spiritual world, our eternal existence, we are not bound or we are not entangled by Kala or time factor. This difference we should be able to identify and take measures, take steps to disentangle oneself from Kala. So our focus should be on Kala, time factor. So this time factor is taking me through all ups and downs in my life, giving birth, then taking me through death, again, once again birth, growth, maintenance, dwindling, all this cycle, it is pushing me through all of these things. So take measures, disentangle oneself from Kala. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur therefore sings in his Gitavali. So Prabhupada is quoting this. Anadi karma phale padi bhavarnava jale taribare na dekhi upaya. Being under the control of the time factor, the living entities appear and die, life after life. This time factor is the impersonal representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who gives the living entities conditioned by material nature a chance to to emerge from this nature by surrendering to Him. So this Kala, it is the impersonal representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It makes a living entity appear to take birth and appears to die, which is not factual. So, through all of these actions, what is the time Kala making you do? Is helping you to take this opportunity to become disentangled from it. How? By surrendering to the Supreme Lord. Become disentangled from here and go back to the spiritual world. So this is the assistance given. Okay, then one more last point I would like to cover. The example of what is mentioned in the purport here. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita also, a very suitable example is given in this connection. Although the nipples on a goat's neck appear to be breast nipples, they do not give milk. Similarly, material nature appears to the material scientist to act and react in a wonderful manner, but in reality, it cannot act without the agitator, the time, who is the representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in the Chaitanya Charitamrita we find this example of Ajagala Stana Nyaya. So what is this? The verse goes like this. Ataeva Krishna Moola Jagata Karana Prakriti Karana Yaiche Ajagala Stana. So this is in the context of the manifestation of this world, how this comes in the chapter wherein the glories of Lord Nityananda Prabhu is given, how Nityananda Prabhu is the original cause for all of the cosmic manifestation. But there are people who won't look at or who won't identify the Supreme Personality of Godhead's hand in this material nature. So what do they say? Atheistic class of people, oh, it is material nature, it is giving birth or giving rise to so many things. And especially we have seen many scientists, they discover something, mix this chemical and something comes out. Oh, we have found out. So see how nicely Prakriti or material nature is acting. But beyond that, there is the Supreme Personality of Godhead through whom or whose actions have caused all of these things to happen. So if at all we don't identify the Supreme Personality of Godhead and think, oh, material nature is so nice, nature has given rise to all of these things, it is just like telling or going and milking from the nipples from the neck of a goat. It appears to be as if nipples, milk may come out, but actually there is no milk. How much ever you try, you will never get milk from there. So in another place, in the same Chaitanya Charitamrita, very beautifully, this same logic is taken and explained about the glory of devotional service. It is said, Bhakti vino kona sadhana dite nare phala Saba phala deya bhakti swatantra prabala. This bhakti or devotional service, it gives rise to or gives the effect of practicing bhakti. Whatever a living entity desires, he will be able to get, whether it be spiritual or even material also. On the other hand, bhakti vinu means without bhakti, kona sadhana, whatever austerities, whatever yoga, different paths you take up, whatever results they yield, it is dependent. Means what? Whatever sadhana we do, apart from bhakti, or whatever yoga, especially yoga we practice, which is bereft of bhakti, that yoga is said to be perfect or achieved perfection only if it helps you to come towards bhakti. If that yoga or if that sadhana or whatever austerities you take up, if it is not helping a living entity to come towards bhakti, then it is simply waste of time. It may give some benefit of health, whatever benefits, or mental peace, which are all temporary. Whatever health benefits we may get today, okay, I may say I am healthy. Again, because of the influence of kala, time factor, we have to get old. One day we have to give up this body. Then what is the use of that? All of those things are temporary, no real benefit. If at all those sadhanas are helping you to come towards bhakti, only then it is fruitful. On the other hand, if a living entity practices bhakti alone, then sabafala deya bhakti swatantra pravala. This bhakti yoga is swatantra, independent of any other processes, and it is prabala, it is very strong. Whatever phala is wanted by a living entity, either it be spiritual or material, the bhakti or devotional service can award him. Why? Because Krishna is the ultimate sanctioning authority. He is the ultimate sanctioning authority. So if at all directly we go take up the activities which is meant for pleasing him, then whatever a living entity may desire, he sanctions. Simply mechanical, some other processes and all, the result may be there, may not be there. And after this, the next verse, it is said, Ajagalas tananyaya anya sadhana ata eva hari bhaje buddhiman jana. Any other processes, any person takes up to, any other sadhana, it is nothing but ajagalasthana. It is like milking the nipples in the goat's neck. Real milk he'll never be able to get. It appears as if he is getting something, but no, he is being cheated. Ata eva hari bhaje buddhiman jana. So intelligent people, understanding this, what do? They take up to devotional service towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So there Srila Prabhupada says, all sadhana except bhakti sadhana is like ajagalastana. Have you seen a goat? Two udders are hanging on his neck. That is ajagalastana. One may say, oh, I will milk it, get some milk, but he will be cheated. No milk will come out. This is ajagalastana. Ajagalastana nyaya, anya sadhana. Sadhana without bhakti is like that. Ata eva hari bhaje buddhiman jana. One who is intelligent will only do hari bhajana and will get the highest result. So understanding this, the devotional activities what we are performing, it is independent. There is nothing else required for living entities to get disentangled from this kala and go back to Godhead. Just this process of bhakti will take care. We'll end with this. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki